It's happening. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. Thank you to Exhibit B, who is hosting this very special reading. Exhibit B is Jim Stewart, Alex Shapiro, and Ian in the way back over there. And Justin Rosier, who is responsibly viewing from home tonight, quarantining. So thank you, Justin, as well. If you do have any friends not here, they can follow along, live stream on Instagram Live. Exhibit B's Instagram account is Exhibit B312. So text your friends who aren't here. Let's see, I'm really excited to get the readers up here tonight. My name is Robin Reed Drake. I have the pleasure of knowing so many people in the room and just getting to know a lot of our readers tonight as well. So thank you all for coming out. We'll start things off with a pretty simple land acknowledgement. What does a land acknowledgement do? It doesn't give land back, but I do think it helps some of us here sort of relearn the territory that we navigate every day and think about the names of those who have stewarded it, who continue to steward it, who will be the ones to save it. And a really great app you can use to help with you, like I'm helping myself, is Native Lands. It's a really wonderful project that allows you to look up any location where you are, where you grew up. And we are now in colonial Chicago, the traditional lands of the Kickapoo, the Peoria, the Kaskaskia, the Potawatomi, the Miami, and many other great nations of folks who have been here, who continue to be here, who will continue to thrive here. Let's see, how else can we start things off tonight? I could have written a script. I didn't. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. It's my first time back on the mic in a long time. As with everybody here, I think. Our first event out of the house for many of us. So thank you for taking precautions. Thank you for keeping your masks on when you're not eating or drinking. Thank you for showing your vax cards at the door. We are also raising funds tonight for the Trans Relief Fund, put on by the Brave Space Alliance. On the screens around you, you can see the Venmo code. If you haven't or would like to still donate, we would absolutely appreciate it. We will be making a large donation of everything we've collected electronically and cash this weekend, and you'll be able to see online when that happens. So, I'm gonna get off this mic and pass it over to somebody who I'm really excited to meet tonight, who I'm really excited to introduce you to. Atena O'Danner. Atena is an unapologetically Black, time-traveling poet activist who dwells in the past to survive the future. She writes toward beloved community, Black liberation, and collective imagination. Atena has poems published in Shelter in This Place, Meditations on 2020, Struggle, Elevate, Celebrate, an anthology of women's voices, and in the inaugural issue of Understory Quarterly, an independent online zine. How we met, wonderfully, this year. She lives in north of Chicago, with her partner and 2 free Black children. Please welcome Atena O'Danner.
Hey everybody, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. I'm Atena. I'm so happy to be here and to see all their faces and to be blinded by the light. So I'm going to start with a little invocation. Honor our ancestors, stories tucked into our hearts. Bless the stories reaching back to when the world began. Blessings to to my siblings as we break the word apart. Touch the soul inside of it and build the world again. This first piece is called Conspiracy. What if we tried to breathe together? Pull in, pull deep, release together. What would be born from a unified fulfillment of the bodily self and its undeniable need? What if we all try to breathe together? A shared breath is a moment, refreshment, and reminder of our more than oneness. And if we continue, if we slow and quicken a pace with each other, a murmuration of lungs becomes one organ singing. And if we continue, learn each other's rhythms over time, rising and falling like waves, we become a perfect thing, a conspiracy dancing, a dance of need and met need, request and offering, feeding each other. What if we decided to breathe together? What if we open the airways? What if we unblock, unbind, unfetter the hands that feed us, the earth, the air, and the water that hold us and shape us? We're breathing together before we found ourselves existing, and so they will continue after we're gone. Imagine our final goodbye coming later than sooner. Imagine our final breaths in paradise. It's not too late to slow down, fall into the dance, catch the vibrating air, and release our lungs into song. Anything breathing cannot help but breathe, but breathing together is a choice we make. All right, this is called Convergence, and this is dedicated to the neurodivergent parents of neurodivergent children everywhere. I didn't come here to tell you that I love my kids. I came here to suck and spit venom. Have you ever looked down to see an arrow of your own making sticking out of your chest? That's the job. I drag myself to the edge of the battlefield to pull these arrows out through the other side. I have been paying myself first, but honestly, I am hanging on by a tenuous spider's thread. My responsibilities have sucked all the stone out of my bones and the meat off my muscles. Brittle, I'm scraping across the earth. Spite and stubbornness are the heaviest things I carry, are what hold me down. The only fuel I have to toss into this engine is the compressed mineral of rage. Because there's nowhere to put this. Because I get shocked snatching you back from live wires. Because I had to jump on the grenade you unlocked. Because you start fights that I have to finish. Because some lessons you are still too young to learn, even though you want to talk that big talk. And yet, when they tear the night open with screams, clawing out of nightmares, sickness or pain, whose name is the only one they remember? And when that need calls out to my purpose, I slip past the memory of bullshit, belligerence, and gall to find someone small, just a baby, eyes shining. I'm here, my love. I got you. You're safe. This is called generational wealth. My grandmother was so tired that my mother was born tired. My mama's so tired that I am tired right now. And I see my children getting tired. So it's time to put this to bed. I will gift time to my children. They will inherit a legacy of resting, leisure time, and vacation days taken, sick time used to nap and renew. I'll steal time and show them how to use it raw. I'll say yes to my babies on the clock. Show them how to tuck joy and stillness into the pockets of reclaimed life. I accrue time, I use it and let them see. I take time, I give it to them and let them play with it. I save time in their names for them to practice how to protect it and spend it on rest. It has been said that the best things in life are free. Untrue. The high cost of the best things in life is time. My progeny will know that time seeds restoration. How creativity is nurtured by time to play, how love is deepened by time together, how revolution needs time to imagine, and how healing and growing are possible. What it takes to build, rebuild, broken skin and bone. That wellness is rest, is time, is wealth. I'm gonna try something. Oh, it's so easy. Okay, this is my last poem, and this is called Giving Each Other Our Flowers. This is for Black women, femmes, and genderqueers everywhere. The sun was near to setting, and just steps from our party of 3 at the North Shore Suburban Ravinia Festival, a wide circle was drawn on the crowded lawn. 20 chairs, a long table draped in silver. It was clear from their outfits and the space they took up. Rites of celebration were being observed. And then she appeared, tall, shoulders back, and just so comfortable. She came to let us know, I see you ladies. Priestess of the sisterhood of tight jeans, periwinkle braids piled up, blending with the twilight, undercut, beneficent smile. She initiated the ritual exchange of compliments, which naturally we returned, a volley of blossoming flowers escalating like fireworks, the easy delight of confessing admiration. She was glad to take a picture of us. I'll come back and take a pic with y'all later. And she floated back to her circle of sisters on a cloud of joy. Black women, my siblings, my sisters are a marvel. How many times have these moments turned my day around? The gentle touch of a sister's words saying, hey girl, I see you. Love that outfit. Okay, red shoes. Go ahead with those braids. Come through, guys. Yes, I see you. I love us. Seeing each other in joy and beauty is an act of resistance, defiance. Surveilled one moment, invisible the next. They tell us we are watching you, and no, you don't matter. Our rituals, scattered and spontaneous, are life-giving and life-saving. I see you. I got you. I love us. We got us. Thank you.
Can we hear it one more time for Atina? Thank you. Thank you, Atina. It really has been such a blessing this year to get to know so many people virtually and all these weird, tiny connections, and now get to see us all in the same room. Thank you so much to Atina. And our next reader is by no means a less sort of serendipitous connection for myself. I have to say, I'm a little nervous being up here on the mic, and yet I do this every day for like 6 hours a day in front of children, and I know they're judging me way harder than anyone in this room is right now. And yet, here we are, in a body. Wow. C. Lofty and I teach together. Everyone can do that. Everyone can do that right now. And you're all going to do it again in just a minute. C. Lofty and I teach together with young Chicago authors, of which apparently there are some other people in the room. C. Lofty is a Black, Southern, and queer poet who's recently relocated to Chicago after completing undergrad at Hampshire College in May of 2021. Congratulations. There, they completed a 150-page manuscript on critical race theory and visual culture. As an active writer and poet from Richmond, Virginia, a former slave-breeding state and former capital of the Confederacy, C. Lofty's work explores notions of identity formation, the quantum imagination, history, ontology, class, and religious and spiritual practices. Identifying as a theorist, a writer, and an anarchist, in their free time you can find them brewing coffee, writing poetry, and baking pastries. Really the most anarchist thing you can do. Everybody, once again, C. Lofty Bowling.
Hello, hello. Hi. Might go a little lower. Can y'all hear me? Is that cool? Okay. So my name is C. Lofty Bowling. As Robin Rita said, we work together. I'm going to read some words. I've been writing for a couple years. That's not true. I've been writing for like 8 years. I just, nervous and forget. Okay. I have 3 poems. The first one is titled "Spiders Watch the Elephant on Stilts." On Sunday somewhere, beneath a porch, we want the rain to stop, to be still. We want the rain. Actually, can you imagine a sudden second that is a second too long? A leaf on the heavier wind hesitates to fall, and the trail of ants slows at the water spilling off of green leaves, like washing spinach. We live here, almost too long to believe, could sit here forever, and we do. Somewhere aside the rain, but not underneath it, a spider forms from the darkness and unburrows unashamedly, walks onto the leaf, and watches the rain with you. That's my first piece. I feel like Robin Reed did a great job with my intro, so I won't do my second blurb. I'll do a small blurb, I guess. Okay, so this next piece is a play on words from this French painting that was made. So there was this series of French paintings. They're all one color, and there's a black painting by I'm forgetting the painter's name, but he's this French racist guy, and he paints this all black painting and says, "A cave of Negroes fighting in the dark." And so I titled this piece, "A Box of Negroes in the Basement Around Dawn," as a play on words to try to, not so much reinstitute, but to sort of rethink about how we can reclaim this notion of darkness. So this is "A Box of Negroes in the Basement Around Dawn." There are plenty of Negroes in overalls over the mountainsides, not married to white women, not married to the blood, but to the brown black. There are plenty of Negroes sleeping in boxes and basements around dawn, waking up like pieces of peeling paint with mouths, Like the barking tree bark in the fire, the smoke dances as loud as his memories do. There are plenty of Negroes on the plantation's edge, the cottage, shacks behind churches, aside hedges, and shackles aside a black box that a bloodied black hand points to. There are plenty of Negroes in black boxes, plenty of Negroes in black boxes. So my last piece, I did a lot of writing for college, and I studied this black writer named Henry Dumas. A lot of his work is going to be some of the first starting work for the canon of Afro-Surrealism, and so I wanted to do a series of poems in his style of writing. So these things are called kefs. They're super short poems, and I have a series of them that I'm going to read from. Kef 22. One day soon, we will change the fate of our lives, and all will be well. Kef 23. I will face the storm, and the storm will face me. Kef 24. There is helium in my bones, and if I tell the truth, I'll float into heaven. Kef 1. We who breathe, we who can't breathe, we who bathe in sounds. Kef 2. Who am I if not on the run, uncaught yet, waiting for the dim day? 3. On 2 different days, I'll take the mercy of morning before I sink. Kef 4. Give me the Lord's mercy in the evening. I am a fractured woman, not a man's experiment. Kef 5. In other news and altered fate, a body captive shows evident capture. Kef 6. I am we, don't you see? I can't tell you where you come. Kef 6. I am we, don't you see? I can't tell you where you come from, only where I go. Kef 7. I will return myself one day to the wilderness. Kef 8. I am being tracked outside of the nearest town. I am running. I am being chased. Kef 9. One day my heart won't run out of my chest and up my throat I'll breathe. Kef 10. By nightfall, I'll run toward a white hole in space and watch the ships roll in. Kef 11. I am where the land sinks, falls into itself, and I am always almost falling too. Kef 12. I am the elephant on stilts, draped in clouds, drinking atmosphere like fish and water, drinking atmosphere like fish and water, staring at stars closer. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you so much, C Loft. Can we hear it one more time for C? Wow. Okay, we have one more person, and then we're gonna take a short break. Well, the lights will come on, the sound will go off, well, the music will come back on too, I guess. But first, we have another reader. This reader, another serendipitous connection that I had this year, thanks to the lovely online life I've been able to lead since the pandemic, is Sylvie Boulay. Sylvie is a hometown sister for me, also made her way up from North Carolina some years ago. She's a writer and scholar living in Chicago. She teaches research writing at the University of Chicago, where she received her PhD in English literature and language in 2020. In her scholarly work, the animating questions concern how appetitive bodies converge on the margins of freedom, yielded by states of altered sentience, ecstatic self-loss, and autonomous movement across the dispossessive terrains of life under industrial settler capitalism. Period. Per. You can find some of these pieces in American Quarterly and Modern Philology. Everybody, welcome Sylvie. There it goes. Well, here we go. You can start the video. Oh, wait. Before you start the video, if anyone has like sensitivity to flashing images, there are like a lot of those in this, so please do be advised. Okay, now you can start it. The first one is called Anal Chroma / Devil's Whirlpool. 1872 girls are caterpillars, many entranced chapel ruins. 120 sodomitic years in the runtime. White pixies flourish, their singularities against nature's insinuations in general. Softcore tropisms like us, the nearly extant, like the look of a sidereal orifice licking fire. The sweet veneris spiral down in dollhouse offices, vanities, dungeons, the spread spectrum, misled by mere resemblance, rapture of humiliation, cruelty and transfer. Intimacy anorexia is the active withholding of emotional, spiritual, and or sexual intimacy from a spouse or significant other. In deleting worlds, it's not an issue, the Garden Chorus. The apathy bait of botched gender reveals. Is the spectrum a grave? Some blotted star of assumption, what sexes and what shapes they please, invalid, voracious, irreparable grain of the outtake. I forge all my life proceeding, no such word as indifference in my apathetic nature. By reducing female form to artifact, a morally streamed intimacy of non-disclosure as cold, which spreads not just confusion, but inversion, lost unconsciousness of a passion, envy matrix, ex-whole codec, to die as lovers may, to die together so that they may live together. Apotropaic desires crave serotonin to FaceTime Sybil, but her undead line is, her copula is sure. It's the lacrimal directness and condensation who relates it in nothing. She beckoned me to her with her pretty finger. I ran to the bell and rang it to bring others to the spot. I think, well, there should be audio, but there's not. Doesn't matter. Flesh minus T0, thread count silk of each hour senses the briefest synthetic touch you wish, plus you wish for at beating senses. All along braiding, their camouflaging, their 4K look, their cocoon edge of, like no future, like horizontal, horizonlessness. So exciting. In one momentary, you were saying edge of the carnal, unthinkable, desperate, unthinkably desperate husks we once put out front on airs like, oh no, that's just how I am. I'm always that way, I'll always be that. Delicate hydra, the senses, hours now coming up for air, soaked in ornament and dispersion, imprint, patterns hung with the numb, abrading heat of you, nothing left, it goes by like that, just saying in place of measuring the lifespan's disfiguring imprint, why wouldn't you like to talk about the insurrectionary glow-up of a previously unattested primal horde when their zero-ordinal frolic goes full sortie, runs off the assault of compet insurance. Wet with contretemps and severally escaped secret of the still unyielding frame, fuck, inevitably. In your mouth, I'm sponge. In my mouth, you can pull your venom. I can spit it back. You can leave a gash in there. I taste the viciousness. Take two, scent,
volcanic rivers, or at minimum try to borrow something missing. The latency of our worst intentless drift summoned up in however amphibious an hour before sleep. Okay, now there's one called About Face / Dissociative Sociopoetics. Is it all over my face? The give of similar lies, the perfect example of how a theory gets legs and spreads, like wildfires spun both ways at once, smushed into a plywood corner on Argyle. Bathos reigns, the 417 hertz of unbecoming situations all over the screen. Leaded water makes out. The sleep technology Hugh, our goblin sisters, grew so tart and fond of. Sainted dolls shooting off in twinks' mouths, stung frowns, ashed smiles, nothing more than barely tolerated commedia of connective tissue in the club I'm menacing from getting up to staggering back around the bend of the end of history. A shiny coffin Helen sinks into the gaped future. Us terrors rise back up throats, repeat moments nomos, revealed stress on the vanguard shearing kiss. It goes towards serial removal from this profane earth. And then all wet with homophobic weather, sickly, bitter tears all in for the not enough sorority. Accelerate, so obvious, so tender, so yearning. It's always waiting, strapless, commiserating, plus disappointing, so disappointing. Animacy of mean machines who reveal your blood info yet still leave distant siloed tears and other ruins of ease, fertility, self-loathing uncorrelated with anyone. Not solo, but not really live with either. Rather, this amoeba, this gauze of interactivity, this buzzing cloud react over where she meets people and hates seeing herself in them, with no awareness thereof. Accidentally mistaken, some things are better than nothings. Thank you, family, not once aggressed and self-pitying, once time into the pit. We lean over, praying for exposure. Actually, the next poem is starting. Other cute nearby places and queen people dictating. Their slanted okay consists of a fine obverse. Never mind if I mean it. Yes, kindly eat me. You're labeled, your rouge, your fencing, yours. Out front, our puppet refractions add value to each our shadow, known for pouring out infernos of sad, sad faces who sings, even this you. Yes, you can mark the picture taken of with your everyone, period, amended in time to say. Destructions you've amassed in time to miss. Which of our blank memories are you taking off with? Assuming riddance to off to strike keenness. I, whenever I, either I, please I, rather I, lately I. Mannerisms fish someone out of this farce. Touring another channel of widening energy. Seeming non-entity, undefiled, anti-unit, of course. At the party, it became at times okay to believe the generational order had left the Earth or reached a burial and dug its way out, wholly changed by the larval process, so there are variously aged supplements simultaneously. Okay, so if there's still a minute, I'm going to finish the about-face poem. So there, sign of internal disconnect, to ridiculed calculus of the next thing, and nexus, and excuse, given everyone girl when not one soul wants to keep our score, catch us in their net, but then you don't show, don't reply, can't actually get a click going, don't care to. What did you expect? Isn't savoring removal a character flaw or armor or just customizing zombie drives that even so, let the city's drifting psychoses gut you less? Phones harassing our evil concatenates it, but listen. Note verbatim, nature says our bodies are literally, okay, literally just like ribbons. Just like ribbons express their task, right? At micro 0 hour there, we're really obviously zoom out and frills curl accessorizing tissues, all our flesh turns riskier. Like fucking, like unfurling, now boss to soak in mumming cold fronts, always copied on accesses of passive commons, misrule rubbing under mask of waifish memos, extra backwards, all of us. We're so sensitive. We're just metaplasial sensing. We're so falling apart, trashed crush of accessories to primp, taut helix of cathexes to hook on molting 1,000 sexes, prone to next of kin proxies, gone off on dealt errands, frail disguises for your dark wood, our verse combinatrix of Cenobite poses. And so anyway, now I think I'll finally go get my ears pierced.
Wow. Thank you, everybody. We're going to take a 5-minute break. A quick 5, but just 5. So the lights are going to come on. You can go pee. There's a bathroom right through those curtains. You can tip your bartenders if you're getting more drinks, because they love that. And we love that, too. See you in 5. Five minutes are up. Hope everybody peed. You can pee right where you're sitting. Oh, no, you can't. I can't tell you that. Don't do that. Please don't. You could really do it and really tip your bartenders, but please don't. Okay. Lights. I want to make sure our caption engineer is on deck. Thank you. Okay. Gorge. So actually, before I do introduce this next person, I just want to remind everybody that a couple of people to thank. First is, I forgot to mention, the Guild Literary Complex are the ones who are sponsoring this event. So thank you. Love the money. Love you guys too. You're not Guild. This is Exhibit B. And this is Exhibit XYZ. But we also want to say thank you to my buddies. You guys have been a really great partner of Exhibit B, and we're so happy to be back here tonight. They have a little system, y'all. These lights, if you need something, turn them off, and your server will come find you. So do that, know that, be that. Next up is Kimmy Alabi, who I'm so fucking stoked is here. Another silly connection. Kimmy Alabi was born on a Sunday in July. They're the author of Against Heaven from Grey Wolf Press, forthcoming 2022. selected by Claudia Rankine, everyone's fave, as winner of the Academy of American Poets' first book award. Their work appears in Poetry, The Atlantic, Best New Poets 2019, The Breakbeat Poets Volume 2, and elsewhere. Alabi is also the co-editor of the Echoing Ida collection, Feminist Press 2021. And they live in Chicago. I'm going to tell you something really, really nice about Kimmy. Claudia Rankine said something great. And we're going to listen to it. She said, at once sonic and disruptive, these poems pull together everything in a world where nothing is sacred. In this energetic and brilliant debut, the thrust of the lyric dislodges all that is stuck and stagnant, creating new possibilities for utterances. So, thank you. Everybody welcome to the stage, Kimmy Alabi.
Hey, everybody. I am so surprised to not be in my house. I'm like, where am I? A microphone? I haven't been in front of one of these since before the pandemic. So thanks y'all for coming out. It's been great hearing all of you beautiful poets read. I'm just excited to be in a room full of poets and listeners again. So thank you for being here. And also like, wow, I can't believe you left your house. So I am going to read about 6 poems for you, and I won't stop in the middle. You don't have to clap in between them, but if you hear anything that you like, feel free to snap or make noises, but I'll just kind of be going all the way through them. And I'll be reading, I actually just got the galleys for the book that you heard about, so I'll be reading from it in front of people for the first time. But when I was thinking about poems to read for tonight, I was like, well, I'm disgruntled because it's snowing. The snow was falling from the sky. I was like frantically figuring out how I get to California as soon as possible. Like, how do I get out of here? And so I was like, let me read some poems about how I'm feeling. And so one of the oldest poems in the book I wrote while I was in Boston, and it's for a friend named Regina, and we were desperately trying to get the fuck anywhere else. This is called Theory of Plate Tectonics. She says New England hoards college girls like cherries in its cheek, tongue-tying legs to knots, making party tricks out of people. Says it's an old currency, wads of tangled stems tumored with unfinished bows. Says the quick ones learn to curl like ribbon. The brave ones learn to run with their hands. The pretty ones knot and knot into rope and callus. None of their blood stays long. But half butane, half lemon juice, all pit, no skin, us sad ones are new fruit. I tell her we should shower more, eat something besides black pepper and rum. I tell her the teapots melted to the stove, the mugs chipped in hazardous places, dropped from scalded hands to blades, stealing lips from our guests. She reminds me we have no guests here. Just the half-dead boys we've specialized in trapping, leggy never giants too grateful to run, cups brimming with sliced smirks, kitchen table littered with scabs we pick over the charred parts. Match head sawed from stems with as sharp as key, ours now. Half a collarbone, still warm, ours now. The light bulb he almost smashed into her throat when he learned not all flightless, soft-bodied girls are fireflies. Ours to shatter in the rooftop shadows just like one of us. She tells me Paris is glitter and ash this time of year, red velvet gloved and scowled. Tells me Cape Town paves its streets with wings that shimmy for stray coins. Says she's got a naked man waiting in Havana and his neighbor owes her 7 cigarettes. She's been studying plate tectonics, whispering spells for Pangea, lighting candles for the Great Rift Valley with bootleg magma from Kilimanjaro, branding Himalayas to her calves Appalachia, speed testing smoke signals hitched to waves. She asks me the difference between arson and wildfire. I say arson is chain smoking with her Tinder wax doll collection. Wildfire is misusing matches as daylight. Should have said the difference depends on what's burning. Such old bones for such new people, more cinder than marrow. We feel safe in all the wrong places, most at home in flames. And so much is in fucking flames, right? And that's not to be avoided. I wrote this next poem during a certain election, though it could be true for every single fucking day. It's called Undelivered Message to the Sky, November 9, 2016. You were in my dream last night. Titanic falling. Every cop siren popping your blue. Shots fired straight above my head by trembling men, then a hot lead rain. You still sank, and all the creatures bowed except the humans. We broke the land screaming, then shattered the sound. When I woke up, I felt it, a twitching in my teeth, the rumble of a nearby rapture. I opened the blinds, and a pack of white women were wailing down 45th, crying into potholes, writhing in the street like worms. One saw me. Wails pitched to a weapons grade. Sorry, 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 so sorry, we're sorry. And I wished Yamaya would sling an ocean out my throat. But all I had was English. Blindfolds, trick knives, no real magic. Nothing in their language makes them disappear. That's why the guns and cages, why they cut our tongues. Because we would call and you would come. I have often wished the sky would just fucking fall and wrap this shit up. This pandemic has been really brutal, and from the very beginning, we knew who it would impact first and hardest. In Chicago, it was very clear. I'm living on the south side, and it was the Black folks on the south side, folks on the west side, who were being impacted the hardest. And so this next poem I wrote as I was considering some of these things, and it's called Black As. Wound. Not all of us survived. Grief came home, back to our throats, our lungs. Grief been black, blue black. Tires bald between work and home black. Monday through Sunday, double shifts black. Asked about those visions, if spirits still slicked my mother's sleep, and she said she's too tired to dream, too tired to see nothing but black. Grief came home, to our lead-thick water, our Big Mac breakfast greasing the way between work and home and work and home. Begged her to take sick time, but not a day off in 10 years black. Said the place would fall apart without her, but not a raise in 10 years black. Needs the health insurance. Dad used 9 diapers all before noon. Don't make pillboxes big enough black. And the co-pays alone. Not all of us survive. Not all living is surviving. A virus can't take what they already stole. Our land, our labor, our language, our magic, our minds, our time, our time. But all my mother's mail tries to tell her what she owes. How much will her burial cost? Death, another debt black. Grief, a bill where the body was black. News, all markets and borders and shouts and nothing we can live on. No news, still bad news black. Learned about the virus on the clock when the packages he shipped became essential. Learned about the virus when pastor got sick, though he was covered in the blood, though she's made 3rd, 4th jobs of prayer. Learned about the virus when the cough came, when the clinic wouldn't answer the phone. Remembered what the ER cost last time, so I just stayed home. When even the stores in the white neighborhoods had nothing on the shelves. When the calls from the cousins up in county came, and even their pitch was a fever. Black is a wound, yes, 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 and black is a portal. And even their pitch was a fever. Became essential. Shouts, we could live on. A bill the body owes for our magic. All living would fall apart without our black, greasing the way between home and home grief. Our thick water spirit, vision double, shifts black, mother blue, back home. When I think about this pandemic, and I think about entering another pandemic winter, though so many of us, thankfully, are vaccinated and kind of moving about in new ways. I still get really terrified thinking about another winter. So this next poem is called You Must Believe in Spring. Even the black ground's aching and ashy, colonized by pasty snow, beef socking you to sleep before blaming the dark. Virus news sweeps your screens, and your blue-lit mind fixes on the frozen lake, closest lover to curl inside. You would trade a skull of yes, no for quiet. 2 slushed thoughts per foot below, but there it goes, doing the frost of your plan. Star witness to original sin, Atlantic turned accomplice, tongues flung overboard for charming its rise, there it goes. That same sun cupping your cheek begs, thaw. And a seed survives their winter. A lost spell buds. I think a lot about magic and what we would do if we could harness it. I don't know if you were watching Lovecraft Country before it got canceled, but a spoiler, at the end, they had taken all of the magic from the white people for these black folks. And I was like, that's pretty fucking cool. What would we do with all of that? And, sometimes I think vengeance, and then other times I think this next poem. We would hex the president, but our bloom game too strong. Altar stays red candle, cinnamon lit, sweet flicker cracking into prance. Stays portal door warmed ajar, spell flung darkwood. Wood, but we so black be lightless, no mirrors. So touch sound food our cedar spoke. Drum kicks the body back to gospel. Drum sticks the body smacked in mouthfuls. The room perfumes with our funk bright wild wood. But our skin yams. Plush mothers cackling, juice dripping, and this just our first slow branch ascending. Wood, but neighbors to dine an unstranger, root bind into kin. A nation of misalphaed wolf carcass to climb through. Wood hex their new head, that never man brought reeking the soil. But who'd feed these seeds? That wet orange howl, just compost slime returning. The sky glows red candle. Air soots and sludges darkward. Still, our funk bright wild, block by block, our tangling. We would hex the damned born dead, but billions still alive, cored and alive, brushed concave and still sweet flickers. Would, but who needs these feasts? When I think about who needs, sometimes I do have to return to myself. Sometimes it's me that needs. And so this last poem for y'all, thank you for being such great listeners, is a poem that I studied philosophy, and Descartes is famous for the idea that the mind and body are separate, and I refuse to believe this. So this is a wedding, or what we learned from Descartes, and I hope that it helps you feel integrated and whole as we enter this fall and winter. A wedding, or what we learned from Descartes. Beloved, last night I doused us in good bourbon, struck a match between our teeth, slid the head lip to chest, throat zippered open and spilling. Our union demands a sacrifice. Take my masks, my wretched, immaculate children. Sharp smiles bored with cavities, braids thick with hair slashed off lovers as they slept. The masks grew limbs and danced, so last night to the fire. Plank pushed, cackling as they bubbled and split. Then dreamless dark, then mercy. Somehow, morning reached for me. Sun found us, swaddled in sweat-through sheets, gauze and salve while night wore off. Oh body, always healing despite me. Oh body, twin spy, tasked against my plot to rush the dying. Guardian of the next world's sweets, yes, I'll lick this salt. Yes, I'll wait our turn because today we hold hands, mother each other, bathe in warm coconut oil. Our union, our long baptism, oh body, all I forced you to know, thirst, yes body. You are owed a whole lake, yes body. I'll kiss our wrists, hold them to our ears, and spend our days losing to the waves. Thanks, Al.
Wow. One more time. Okay. Thank you. What a integration this evening has been. What a blessing. We're gonna wrap it up before we shuffle on out the door with one more reader who's gonna take us out on a magical note. This is Rexy LaFemme, my bestie. Rexy is a trans, multi-gender, multi-genre writer, visual and drag artist, performer, organizer, and healer from Jackson Heights, New York City. As a working-class, gender-abundant femme, Rexy's work is a love letter to New York City and the radical communities grounded in politics of resistance, healing, and resilience. In all of Rexy's creative forms, they explore the power of revolutionary love in the face of loveless political structures. Rexy is also a practicing witch. She's a witch and offers workshops and spiritual mentorship in divination, spellwork, and building intuition with a focus on healing, a practice towards liberation. His book of poems and illustrations, When There Is No One and There Is Everyone, is available now from Magic Helicopter Press. And about that book, another fave of mine, Matilda Bernstein's Sycamore, said that these are poems in search of a relationship with queer bodies and lives that isn't only about hope or heartbreak, a relationship with the city that isn't just about creation or destruction, and a relationship with an embodied self beyond broken posturing and hollow rhetoric. To close us out this fine evening, Rexy LaFemme.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm short. I'm gonna read a couple of poems, and then I'm gonna do some other things. This poem is called Communications Between Selves. 3 hawks across the blue sky canvas, buds opening all around. You can't stop the seasons, even if it feels one will never end. It's been COVID winter for a year, now 2. Everything around still grew. Life doesn't stop for death, living our best lives through the suffering still. There's nothing new about that. The pangs of other times, past events, somehow always in this moment, tapping at the back door. If only we could remember what it is to be angels, we would heal. The body, the spirit, their destiny is to heal. That's what life is all about, another go around, yet we forget. To live, to heal, is to remember. Fear is a liar. It steals your energy away, blocks you from your core. Acknowledge it, but don't run with it. You are the genderless healer, the all and nothingness in a body that channels universes to transmute others. Trust your power. You were sent here to use them, tiny angel. The mentor is the cosmos. Waiting in the wings is everything. I like traveling to deep space where everything in the universe sees me and we know we are all one, and there is no we actually, because we are so much more. On Earth, I speak in codes to those who don't know how to read the map of me. It's okay, I guess, but I get tired of so many questions, so many confusions, when to just be is the desire, is the point. But people need to tether things to the ground to understand them, to feel safe. A name is not enough, nor a sound or a feeling, which is the truest thing. If I said I'm a consciousness in a form in a consciousness like you, it wouldn't be enough. Never enough, because we are so much more beyond a word, beyond a body, and that's what's so cool about it all. And that's also what they seem to hate, to be afraid of. I'm just trying to be, aren't you? This next piece, this next piece is an excerpt from this weird novel or something that I'm writing. And it's like a voice of a character who is channeling themselves and then channeling other things. Whatever it is, get it down. I want a voice like Ronnie Blakely, eyes like Karen Black. I need a new sun rising every morning, and I need a new moon rising every night. The sea explodes up on shore, liquid metal receding back into itself, air breathing back onto the wet sand below the copper disk of sun, swathed over by smoke brought on the wind from California, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, over 2 million acres. Dan said sometimes wildfires spread by animals on fire, frenzied, fleeing flames, only to bring them on further in their attempt to escape. Sounds a lot like real life. The heaviness of this chaos meets the joy and lightness of this chaos, the love between friends across phone lines, carried on radio waves, the electricity in our embrace, the smoke of your crisis meets the air of mine across 3,000 miles. Hello, Abby. Hello, Camellia. I love you. We were afraid there would be a time we were caught up in our cities or states, away from each other. The time we were talking about we thought was then, but it was now. Those were the days. And we did a good job of loving each other, making some magic, even in misery and difficulty, and living in a city that conspired against us all. I'm not numb, I feel everything, and that grief turns itself over in its bed, raises its head to the cloudless haze-gray morning, rises in a rage. Ready to blaze my way across this landscape too. Controlled burn of the shoddy condos, the landlords, the charcuterie that should be a fucking cheese and cracker plate. America, I never believed in you. Enough. I fantasize about the ringed necks of the overlords. I dream about their end. The time is too late now. Nina and Marcia and Sylvia and Leslie and James and Nat and Joan and. It's that careless disrespect. I can't take no more, baby. I dream of conjuring the ghosts, raising the dead for our reckoning, for justice of the maimed, murdered, raped, poisoned, exploited, terrorized, dehumanized. Some of their bodies will be animated in parts, fragments, some will rise up whole, taking up the bricks and nail-ridden floorboards of the condos they built over our lives, over our joys, over our pain. And we, living and dead, will rain the truth and future onto them, making a new past, erasing their poisoned origins. I am the well, you are the well, we are the wave, we are the soul-breathing fire, breathing the consequences. We are endlessness and always origination. And then I wanted to give us a second to just like breathe, like take a breath or two together, and feel some sort of centeredness, like maybe put your feet on the floor, touch your thighs, or touch your knees, just kind of like be together in the room, and I wanted to call in my guides and your guides, if you feel comfortable bringing them in. And I'm just gonna like pull a card for us and just ask for a little message, because yes, we are spiraling into another COVID winter, and I don't know, we've all been through a lot, and sometimes we just need a little bit of support. So I have this deck called the Numinous Tarot. That's like all kind of like queer, trans, genderqueer figures that like reimagines the archetypes. And so I pulled the Nine of Candles, which candles is wands, if you're familiar. Wands is all about fire and action and passion. And the nine is kind of, so it's basically just like finding your light in the darkness, holding the candle, passing the baton, and being able, like, understanding that we're coming toward a culmination. And it's taken a long time to kind of process and experience our passions in a way that feels viable, or that feels like even steeped in possibility, but that possibility is like always there, and we're always with it, especially if we look to the lights of others, and like engage with each other in this process of liberation and passion and building, and it's also about kind of like taking on like reflection, and yeah, just like spending time with our sorrows, our joys, our trials, our tribulations. Like the journey is the path, the journey is the path, and we're doing our best. You're doing your best, and just like keep working with that like fire, that like like the fire, and we're gonna breathe it out. We're the dragons, even in our lonely, isolated hours. That's what I get from that. Thanks. Okay, and thank you all. And thank you to the archetypes too. I'm just gonna sing a song, and then I'll be on my way. Okay. You gotta give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. You gotta laugh a little, cry a little, until the clouds roll by a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. As long as there's the few of us, we've got the world and all its charms. And when the world is through with us, we've got each other's arms. You gotta win a little, lose a little, and always have the blues a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Yeah, thank you. Through the joys and the sorrows, everything's gonna be okay, and there's always love. So, have a good night. Love y'all.
Have a good night. Love you all. Bye. See you. We're done. Now, I do have one quick more reminder, which is to say that December 2nd in this very room, at this very bar, all y'all can come back with your friends. And there it is on the screen. Doing Open Mic is going to be here, 6 o'clock, December 2nd. Think about it, you know? I don't know. A big thank you again to all the readers tonight, to everybody that came out to support your friends and your loved ones and your family, to Exhibit B, to my buddies, to, you know, the Guild, and to me. Oh, bye. We're done.